The paint can slipped from my trembling fingers, exploding across the hardwood floor in a violent splash of eggshell white that looked like spilled secrets. "Fuck," I whispered, but it was the splatter hitting the framed photo of Alex and me. Smiling, oblivious, that gutted me. 3 months since he left with my best friend, and here I was, hiring a stranger to erase him from these walls, one brushstroke at a time. Joshua arrived at dawn, toolbox clanking like armor, his flannel shirt rolled up over forearms corded from years of manual labor. "Morning, Daniel," he said, voice gravelly from sleep or cigarettes, extending a calloused hand that swallowed mine whole. Straight as an arrow, he'd said on the phone. Divorced, no drama, just a job to pay the bills in this godforsaken city that chewed up dreamers like him. I laid out the rules before he even cracked open the primer. No entering the bedroom without knocking twice. Don't touch the bookshelves. Those spines held my history, dog-eared and underlined. And for God's sake, no small talk about love or loss. This was business, not therapy. He nodded, those hazel eyes flicking over the living room like he was sizing up a canvas. Not a heartbreak. Got it, boss. Rules are rules. Joshua started in the kitchen that first morning. The hiss of his spray gun a steady rhythm that drowned out the traffic humming up from Atlantic Avenue. I hovered in the doorway, nursing black coffee in a chipped mug, pretending to scroll emails on my phone. At 32, I'd built a life here in Brooklyn that looked solid on the outside, junior editor at an indie press, weekends at queer poetry slams, a network of friends who texted check-ins after the breakup. But inside, it was peeling wallpaper and ghosts. He worked shirtless by noon, the summer heat turning the air thick as varnish. Sweat traced paths down his back, pooling at the waistband of his jeans, and I caught myself staring, not leering, just noticing. Joshua was built like the guys from those old Levi's ads, broad shoulders tapering to a trim waist, a faint scar snaking across his ribs like a question mark. Straight, I reminded myself. Married once, to a high school sweetheart back in Ohio, he'd mentioned offhand while taping the counters. No kids, no baggage. Just a painter chasing gigs in the big city after the mill closed down. "Hand me that roller, would ya?" he called, wiping his brow with the back of his arm. I passed it over, our fingers brushing just enough to spark something electric. Gone before I could name it. "Thanks. You got a nice setup here." Cozy, cozy. That was code for small, overpriced, and cluttered with regrets. The kitchen island still bore the wine stain from our last fight. Alex accusing me of being too needy, me firing back that his late nights at the gym were just excuses to text his trainer. Joshua didn't pry, though. He just rolled on the first coat, the fresh paint blooming like a clean start. By evening, the room smelled of wet plaster and possibility. He packed up early, slinging his bag over one shoulder. "See you tomorrow. 9 sharp, yeah. And hey, thanks for not making it weird." He paused in the hall, that half-smile crinkling the corners of his eyes. "Weird's my middle name, Daniel. But I'll stick to the rules." I watched him descend the stairs, the thud of boots echoing like a heartbeat. Alone again, I poured a glass of Merlot and sank onto the couch, the half-painted walls closing in. Alex's voice echoed in my head. "You're too intense, Dan. People need space." Space. That's what I'd given Joshua's rules a framework for, boundaries to keep the mess contained. But as the wine warmed my veins, I wondered if rules were just another way to stay safe, alone. The next day brought rain, a relentless sheet that turned the streets into mirrors reflecting my frayed nerves. Joshua showed up soaked, water dripping from his ball cap onto the drop cloths. "Storm's a bitch," he muttered, shaking like a dog. I tossed him a towel from the linen closet, breaking my own rule about not offering comforts. He dried off in the bathroom, emerging in a fresh tee that clung just enough to hint at the ridges beneath. We moved to the living room, where the walls screamed for mercy, faded blue from our coastal vibe phase, now a joke without the beach trips we'd promised each other. As he sanded, the conversation trickled out despite my edict. "So, what do you edit? Books sound fancy. Queer lit? Mostly. Memoirs? Novels about coming out in red states. Stuff that hits hard." He nodded, scraping methodically. "Read one last year. Guy from Kentucky, right? Fought his preacher dad to live his truth." I blinked, surprised. "Yeah, Southern Fire." "You into that?" "Grabbed it at a library sale. Figured, why not? World's bigger than what they teach you in Sunday school." His voice dipped, something raw flickering before he masked it with a grunt, attacking a stubborn patch. I leaned against the windowsill, rain pattering like fingers on glass. "Most straight guys wouldn't touch it. Afraid it'll rub off." Joshua laughed, low and genuine. "I'm not most guys. And rub off, that's for paint, not books." He straightened, flexing his back with a wince. "Speaking of, pass the putty knife?" Our hands met again, longer this time, the air humming. I pulled back first, heat rising in my cheeks. "Straight," I chanted internally. "Rules." That night, I dreamed of brushstrokes on skin, waking tangled in sheets with his name on my lips. Ridiculous. He was a hired hand, a temporary fix for walls and wounds. But when he returned the next morning, humming an old Springsteen tune under his breath, I felt the first crack in my resolve. We fell into a rhythm over the week: coffee at 8, work till dusk, shared silences broken by snippets of life. Joshua talked about growing up in a Rust Belt town, where football was religion and art was for sissies. He'd sketched in secret, trading comic books for charcoal at the junkyard. Dad called it a waste. Said real men build things, not doodle. "And your mom passed when I was 10. Cancer." He said it flat, like stating the weather, but his brush paused mid-stroke. I wanted to reach out, to say something that bridged the gap, but the rules loomed. Instead, I asked about his divorce. "She was great. But I was restless." City lights called. Restless. I knew that itch, the pull toward something undefined, terrifying. By Friday, the living room glowed in soft gray, a neutral slate that made the space feel bigger, breathable. Joshua stepped back, arms crossed, praising. "Looks good. Like a fresh page." "Yeah." I met his gaze, and for a beat, the room shrank to just us. "Thanks to you." He shrugged, but his eyes lingered. "Dinner? My treat. To celebrate not fucking it up." I hesitated, the invitation dangling like a loose thread. Rules be damned, this was harmless. "Sure. There's a spot down the block. Wings and beer." We walked under street lamps, the city alive with Friday buzz, couples spilling from bars, laughter cutting the chill. The dive, We claimed a corner booth. Wings piled high, foam-flecked pints sweating on coasters. Talk flowed easy. His failed stint at art school, my botched attempt at stand-up comedy in college. He laughed at my impressions, head thrown back, throat working in a way that made my pulse stutter. You're funny, Dan. Real. Not like the phonies back home. You're not so bad yourself. I clinked my glass to his. For a straight painter with rules. He stilled, then smirked. Rules keep things simple. But life's not simple, is it? The question hung, heavy as the rain earlier. I wanted to ask what he meant, but the server interrupted, and the moment slipped. Walking home, shoulders brushing, I felt the pull stronger, a current beneath the surface, dangerous and alive. Saturday, he tackled the hallway, the narrow vein of the apartment where Alex's coat still hung, forgotten. Joshua eyed it but said nothing, dipping his brush with focus. I watched from the couch, laptop open to a half-edited manuscript, words blurring. Tell me something true, I said suddenly, the silence too thick. He glanced over, paint-speckled cheek smudged. True, yeah. No bullshit, he thought, roller poised. I hate painting. The steady work pays the rent. But what I really want, to create big stuff, murals, exhibits. Not this. I sat up. Then why not? Fear, I guess. Failing spectacularly. His eyes met mine. Vulnerable. Your turn. I hired you to paint over him. But mostly, to paint over me. The admission landed soft, but it shifted something. Joshua set down the roller, crossing to sit beside me. Close, but not touching. You're not a wall, Daniel. You're alive. Messy. Yeah. But real. Heat bloomed between us. The air charged. His knee nudged mine, accidental on purpose, and I didn't pull away. Rules fraying at the edges. That night, alone, I texted a friend, met someone. Complicated. Her reply, straight painters? Always are. Sunday brought sun, and Joshua with a surprise, a sketchpad tucked under his arm. Brought this for downtime. Figured the bedroom's next. Might as well wait. We migrated there. My sanctum, bed unmade. Nightstand cluttered with lube and dog-eared paperbacks. He averted his eyes politely, but I caught the flush on his neck. Nice space. Personal. Too personal. Maybe. I gestured to the walls, scuffed from headboard thumps and whispered fights. He flipped open the pad, charcoal flying as he roughed out the room's bones, light slanting through blinds, shadows pooling like ink. Watching him, I saw the artist emerge, fierce and unguarded. You're good, I breathed. Really good, he shrugged, but pride flickered. Hobby. Remember, we talked for hours, legs stretched on the rug, backs against the bed frame. He shared sketches from home, fields under stormy skies, faces of mill workers etched with quiet defeat. I confessed the ache of editing stories like his, vicarious lives bleeding into mine. As dusk fell, he packed up, but paused at the door. Dan. Thanks. For seeing. The word seeing echoed long after he left, a mirror to my own blindness. Rules were walls, after all. And Joshua? He was starting to feel like the door. Monday hit like a hangover, the apartment half transformed but my head a whirl. Joshua arrived with takeout bagels, grease spots blooming on paper like abstract art. "Fuel for the finish line," he said, handing me one slathered in cream cheese. Our fingers tangled briefly, a habit now, and neither flinched. The bedroom walls came down easy, old paint flaking like dead skin. He worked methodically, but his eyes kept drifting to the photos on my dresser. Me at 25, grinning from a pride float. Alex and I at Coney Island, arms linked against the wind. Joshua didn't comment, but tension coiled in his shoulders. "Those rules," he said finally, mid-brushstroke. "They for him, or you?" I leaned in the doorway, arms crossed. "Both." After he left. Trust got messy. He nodded, dipping into the tray. "Know the feeling. My ex, Sarah, she said I was checked out. Like I was painting over us before we even cracked." "Checked out how?" He exhaled, long and slow. "Distant. Like part of me was elsewhere." His voice trailed, gaze fixed on the wall as if answers hid in the texture. Elsewhere. The word lodged in my chest, stirring questions I had no right to ask. We broke for lunch on the fire escape, legs dangling over the alley, bagel crumbs scattering to pigeons below. Brooklyn sprawled lazy, brownstones baking, kids shrieking from a hydrant spray. Joshua sketched idly, capturing the chaos in quick lines. "You're restless again," I observed. "Thinking about that mural dream?" "Something like that." He capped the pencil, turning to me. "What about you? After this job? What's next? Another book? Another guy?" The directness startled me, beer halfway to my lips. "Haven't thought that far. Healing first." "Fair." He bumped my shoulder, casual but loaded. "You deserve good, Dan. Real good. Deserve." No one had said that since Alex, and it landed like sunlight after rain. Back inside, he finished the trim, precision in every angle, while I sorted closets, tossing his hoodies, keeping one that still smelled like him, a masochistic talisman. Tuesday. The job wrapped early, leaving us aimless in the glow of fresh paint. "One more coat tomorrow," Joshua announced, wiping his hands. "Then you're free." Free. The word tasted bittersweet. "Drinks? To wrap." He grinned, that boyish flash. "Twist my arm." We hit a rooftop bar in Williamsburg, skyline jagged against the bruise-purple sky. Craft beers in hand, we toasted to blank canvases, literal and not. Talk turned personal. His art school dropout, funded by night shifts at a diner. My closet years in a conservative college town, coming out to cheers that turned to whispers. "You're brave," he said, voice soft over the bass drum. "Putting it all out there. Brave or stupid? Take your pick." "Nah. Brave." His eyes held mine, intense, the city lights reflecting like stars in his irises. Under the table, his boot nudged my calf, lingering. My breath hitched, but I didn't move. Straight, my brain protested weakly. Rules. We walked home buzzed, arms slung loose, laughter echoing off stoops. At my door, he lingered. "Night, Dan. Night." The urge to pull him in surged, but I stepped back, key scraping the lock. Wednesday dawned gray, mirroring my mood. Joshua showed with quiet energy, final touches on the bedroom demanding care. We worked in sync, him painting, me taping, bodies brushing in the tight space, Apologies murmured but not meant. Mid-morning, his phone buzzed incessantly. He silenced it twice, jaw tight, before stepping out to the hall. I caught fragments. Told you, I'm busy. Yeah. Later, back in. He looked drained. X, he explained curtly. Wants closure or some shit. Sarah? Yeah. He attacked the wall harder, bristles whispering fury. You don't owe her that. Tell that to guilt. He paused, sighing. She thinks I left cause of another woman. Easier lie than the truth. Truth. There it was again, dangling. I wanted to press, but the rules, his now, unspoken, held me. Instead, we finished in silence, the room reborn in warm taupe, shadows softening edges. As he cleaned up, I found a sketch he'd left on the dresser me, from the fire escape, lines capturing the curve of my jaw, the half-smile I forgot I had. Joshua, he turned, sheepish. Habit. You make a good subject. I traced the paper, throat tight. This is. Thank you. His gaze dropped, then rose, charged. Dan. The buzzer cut him off, delivery from work. Manuscripts I'd forgotten. Moment shattered. He grabbed his gear. Tomorrow for touch-ups. Then done. That night, I framed the sketch, hung it where Alex's photo had been. Staring at it, I admitted the pull. Joshua wasn't just a painter. He was color bleeding into my grayscale world. Thursday, touch-ups dragged, every stroke a delay. Rain lashed the windows, trapping us inside. We shared pizza on the floor, boxes open like books, sauce staining fingers. Talk meandered to dreams, his mural in an abandoned warehouse, mine of a press that amplified silenced voices. You're the voice, Dan. The one that matters. Me? I'm just the editor. No. He set down his slice. Ernest. You see people. Like you see me. The air thickened, his knee pressing mine deliberately. I met his eyes, heart pounding. What do you see? You. Simple. Devastating. He leaned in, slow, giving me space to bolt. I didn't. Our lips met, tentative, then hungry, his hand cupping my neck with a gentleness that belied his strength. Taste of pepperoni and beer, stubble rasping, the world narrowing to this. We broke apart gasping, foreheads touching. Joshua, shit, he pulled back, eyes wide with panic. The rules, I broke him. Forget the rules. I kissed him again, deeper, hands fisting his shirt. Clothes shed in a tangle. We tumbled to the bed, the new bed, unchristened. His body was a revelation. Scars mapping stories, muscles yielding under my touch. He moved with a hesitance that melted into need, whispers of my name like prayers. After, tangled in sheets, he traced my collarbone. I've wanted this. Since day one. Then why? Complicated. His voice cracked. I'm not. What you think. Straight painter. The label crumbled, but questions swirled. I held him closer, savoring the now. Tomorrow, truths could wait. Friday sealed it, or so I thought. He arrived flushed, kit in hand, but his energy was electric, not the languid post-night glow I'd expected. We worked the final corners, brushes dancing, bodies humming with memory. Lunch, I suggested, casual. He nodded, But his phone buzzed again, Sarah's name flashing. This time, he answered in the kitchen, voice low. No. It's not like that. I can't explain now. I eavesdropped despite myself, heart sinking at the intimacy in his tone. When he returned, I confronted gently, everything okay? Yeah. Just tying loose ends. Evasive, as not meeting mine. Doubt crept in, a hairline fracture. Was last night a fluke? A straight guy's experiment? We ate in near silence. The spark dimmed. Afternoon brought the reveal, not the one I craved. Unpacking a box, I unearthed Alex's old journal, pages spilling like accusations. Joshua glanced over, freezing at an entry, Dan's too clingy. Needs space from his intensity. X? He asked softly. Yeah. I snapped it shut, shame burning. Hey, he knelt beside me, hand on my knee. That's his shit, not yours. But his touch felt obligatory. And when he left early, got a thing, the fracture widened. Alone, I scrolled his sparse socials. Photos with Sarah, arm around her at barbecues. No hints of us, of him. Saturday, no show. Text, family emergency. Back soon. Emergency. The word echoed Alex's excuses. I paced the pristine apartment, walls mocking my solitude. Rules had protected me once. Now they felt like chains. He returned Sunday, hollow-eyed, duffel heavier. Sorry. Ohio, Dad's mill buddy died. Had to drive. Liar. The word slipped out. Venomous. He recoiled. What? Saw the posts. You're still with her. Dan. Save it. Straight painter. Right? Rules for a reason. His face crumpled. Pain raw. It's not fuck. Listen. But I shoved the door half shut. Heart armored. Job's done. Checks on the counter. He didn't take it. Just stood there. Broken. Please. The door clicked, sealing us apart. That night, tears soaked the pillow, his sketch mocking from the wall. Hired help. That's all. But the ache said otherwise. Monday blurred into a fog of deadlines and denial. The apartment gleamed, every corner crisp. No trace of Alex or the chaos before. But it felt sterile, a museum of what-ifs. I buried myself in edits, slashing red ink across pages about love's betrayals, irony biting deep. Friends dragged me to a drag brunch in Bushwick, glitter and mimosas a bomb. But Joshua's ghost lingered in every laugh, every sidelong glance. My phone stayed silent. No texts, no calls. Part of me hoped he'd fight, bang on the door with explanations, sketches of apology. The other part, the scarred one, whispered good riddance. Straight guys and their games. I danced that tango before. College flings ending in awkward silences and no homo disclaimers. Tuesday. A package arrived. His sketchpad, left behind in the rush. Flipping through, my breath caught. Pages of me. Us. Fire escape reverie. Rain-slicked walk home. The bedroom's soft light haloing his form beside mine. Tucked in the back. A note. Seeing you changed everything. Let me explain. J. Explain. The word tempted, but pride barricaded. I shoved it in a drawer, out of sight. Work saved me. A launch party for Southern Fire's sequel at a loft in Soho. Authors mingling with agents. Air thick with perfume and ambition. I nursed a gin and tonic, nodding through pitches, when a familiar gravel voice cut through. Daniel, Joshua. Here, in a button-down that hugged his frame, hair tousled like he'd run fingers through it 100 times. How? Why? Stalking now? I snapped, louder than intended. Heads turned. He winced, stepping closer. No. Heard about the event, figured. Chance. Chance for what? Round 2 of your straight guy curiosity. Dan, please. His hand grazed my arm, electric as ever. Not here. Coffee? Tomorrow? I wanted to refuse, to walk away into the crowd. But those hazel eyes, pleading, cracked me. Fine. Hey. The diner on Bedford. He exhaled relief. Thank you. Watching him melt into the throng, I felt the fracture mend. Tentative. Maybe truths weren't so terrifying. Wednesday dawned crisp, autumn nipping at summer's heels. The diner hummed with locals, hash brown sizzle, coffee percolating like old jazz. Joshua slid into the booth, 2 mugs steaming between us, his knee brushing mine under the formica. Talk, I said, stirring sugar I didn't need. He nodded, fingers drumming the rim. Sarah. We're not together. Haven't been for months. The calls? She's pregnant. Not mine, her new guy's, but she needed support. Family stuff. Pregnant. The word punched. Irrational jealousy flaring for a woman I'd never met. And you play white knight, why? Guilt. He leaned forward, voice low. Back home, everyone's connected. Mills close, jobs vanish, folks lean on each other. Leaving her high and dry? That's not me. Fair. I sipped, scalding. But the other night. If you're so straight, why? I'm not. The admission hung. Simple as that. Not straight. By. Maybe. Or. Just into you. Into you. My heart tripped. Then why hide? Fear. He raked a hand through his hair. Grew up where gay was a slur tossed at the art kids. Dad beat it out of me. Literally. Once. When he found my sketches of boys from the team. Married Sarah to fit. Divorced when I couldn't fake it anymore. The scar on his ribs, sudden memory. Jesus. Joshua. Yeah. He shrugged. But pain etched deep. Came to New York to start over. No labels. No rules. Then you, hiring me, with your walls and your hurt. Saw myself in it. And that kiss. Fuck. Dan. It was real. Real. The word anchored, pulling me toward him. I thought you were playing me. Like Alex. Never. His hand covered mine. Thumb stroking knuckles. I broke my own rules for you. Let me in. I turned my palm up, lacing fingers. Slowly, we lingered till the waitress shooed us, walking hand in hand down leaf-strewn sidewalks. At my door, no hesitation, he kissed me proper, slow and sure, tasting of cream and promise. Inside, we rediscovered each other, bodies mapping forgiveness, whispers weaving futures. Thursday brought normalcy laced with newness. He returned for touch-ups, phantom smudges, excuses to linger. We painted miniatures on canvases he'd brought, laughter spilling as colors bled wild. Talk turned dreams. His mural pitch to a gallery contact from the launch. My manuscript, a queer romance inspired by Rust Belt resilience. You're my muse, he teased, dabbing blue on my nose. And your trouble. I smeared red across his cheek, chasing with a kiss. But undercurrents stirred. His phone buzzed less, but when it did, shadows crossed his face. Ohio, I asked once, casual. Yeah. Dad's asking when I'm settling down. He pocketed it, forced grin. Told him I'm painting masterpieces. I let it slide, but unease simmered. Rules evolved, not barriers now, but guides. No overnights yet, space to breathe. Friday, conflict brewed. A call from my editor. Deadline crunch. Launch rescheduled. Stress knotted my shoulders, snapping at Joshua over misplaced brushes. Sorry, I muttered later, head in hands. It's not you. I know. He pulled me close, chin on my crown. But talk to me. We're in this. The word thrilled and terrified. That night, we cooked, pasta fumbling, wine flowing, turning my kitchen into a haven. Over candlelight, he shared more. Art school beatings masked as tough love. First crush on a teammate crushed under cleats. Hid it all. Sketched in secret, like breathing underwater. You're out now. I squeezed his hand. With me. Yeah. His smile warmed. Feels like air. Saturday, we ventured out, hand in hand to the Brooklyn Museum, wandering halls of American masters. He geeked over Hopper's loneliness. I over Warhol's queerness. In the sculpture garden, under autumn sun, he dropped to one knee, not proposal, but a pebble skip into the fountain. For wishes. Mine, no more hiding. Granted. He kissed my temple, world fading to us. But Sunday shattered it. His phone rang during brunch, Dad. Voice booming through speaker. Joshua, that city turning you soft? When you bringing home a girl? Silence stretched. Fork midway to mouth. Joshua's face drained. Dad. Not now. Always now. Boy. Mill's hiring again. Come home. Make something of yourself. Click. He stared at the plate, eggs congealing. Joshua, it's nothing, but tears glistened, unshed. Bullshit. I touched his arm. Talk. He shoved back, chair scraping. You don't get it, Dan. That world's mine, roots, blood. Can't just paint it away. Then what? Hide us? Play straight for them? I don't know. Voice cracking. He stormed out, door slamming like judgment. I sat stunned, cafe chatter mocking. Betrayal stung, not infidelity, but rejection. His family, his past, walls I'd thought torn down, rebuilt in a breath. Hours later, text, need space. Sorry. Space. Alex's ghost laughed. I curled on the couch, sketchpad mocking from the wall. Rules, broken and binding. Monday, work blurred tears. Friends rallied, cocktails at a speakeasy, toasts to moving on. He's conflicted, Mia said, bartender extraordinaire. By guys from the sticks, recipe for drama. Know that song. I clinked glasses, but ache throbbed. Tuesday, he showed, unannounced, paint-flecked jeans, eyes red-rimmed. Can I come in? Against better judgment. Yeah. Living room tense. He paced. I panicked. Dad's voice. It drags me back. Us or them. Brutal, but needed. Us. Firm. But it's hard. You're out. Proud. I'm half in. Half's not enough. Tears pricked. I can't hide. You won't. He knelt, hands on my knees. Therapy. Maybe. Coming out slow. But I'm yours, Dan. If you'll have me. Vulnerable. Scarred Joshua. Not the straight painter, but the man beneath. I pulled him up. Kiss sealing tentative peace. Slowly, I whispered. Together, the weeks blurred into a fragile rhythm. Joshua crashing on my couch some nights, his duffel a fixture by the door. We navigated like tightrope walkers. Dates at hidden jazz dives, where sax wails masked our whispers. Lazy Sundays sketching in bed, charcoal dusting sheets like stars. He opened a gallery file, mock-ups of murals blending Brooklyn grit with Ohio steel, rusted beams cradling rainbow arcs, a nod to hidden lives. You're brilliant, I murmured one morning, tracing his latest draft over coffee steam. Nah. Inspired, his kiss lingered, coffee bitter and sweet. But Fisher's lingered. His phone, silenced but insistent, buzzed with Ohio area codes. Aunt checking in, he'd say. Or old buddy from the mill. I nodded, trusting, but doubt whispered half in. Work surged. My press greenlit a chapbook of his sketches paired with queer poems I'd curate. Our project, I called it, excitement bubbling. Joshua glowed, but shadows lurked. What if they hate it, see the queer in me? Then they see truth. I cupped his face. And we fight. The word proved prophetic. Mid-November, chill seeping through cracks. His dad called again, unfiltered, on speaker by accident. Boy, your ma's birthday next week. Bring that girl you mentioned. Sarah said you're mooning over someone. Joshua froze, mug slipping. Dad, none of that city nonsense. Be a man. Line dead, silence deafening. He slammed the counter, knuckles white. Fuck him. Joshua. I reached, but he jerked away. It's always this. Push. Pull, straighten up. Son. Voice breaking. He grabbed his jacket. I can't breathe here. Here? Or with me? With them. The past. Door slammed. Echo chasing him downstairs. I sank to the floor. Walls our painted sanctuary, closing in. Betrayal anew. Not his doing, but the wound gaped. Hours ticked. No return. Text. At a motel. Need headspace. Headspace. Paste. Calling me he's running. From family or you? Both. Sobs choked. What if I'm his regret? Nah. You're his wake-up. Tuesday. Gallery meeting loomed our pitch. I prepped alone. Slides of his art glowing on screen. Raw. Revolutionary. But without him, hollow. He showed at dawn. Disheveled. Eyes haunted. I'm sorry. Drove all night. Ended up at the bridge. Thought about jumping. Not serious. Just lost. My heart seized. Jesus. Yeah. He collapsed beside me. Head in lap. Dad's poison. But your antidote. We held. Tears mingling. Come out, I urged softly. To them. Us. Scary as hell. I know. Kiss to his temple. But I'm here. The meeting. Magic. Curator. A silver-haired dyke with tattooed vines up her arms. Leaned in. This screams America. Heartland hurt meets urban hope. We're in. Joshua's grin split wide. Hugging me fierce amid claps. Champagne after. Toasts to breakthroughs. You did this, he whispered. We. But euphoria cracked Thursday. A letter arrived. Manila envelope. Ohio postmark. Joshua paled reading it. Dad's scrawl. Ultimatum veiled as concern. Come home. Job waiting. Leave the fairy tales. He crumpled it. Face ashen. He knows. Somehow. Sarah? Probably. Goddamn small town. Rage simmered. Fuck him. Block the number. Can't. Voice small. He's blood. Blood. Thicker than paint. Than us? Dread coiled. That night, lovemaking turned desperate. Clawing. Claiming as if to anchor him. Stay, I gasped after. Trying, but sleep evaded him, tossing till dawn. Friday escalated. Another call, Dad. Voice slurred. Whiskey thick. Heard you're shacked with a man. Disgrace. Don't come back. Click. Joshua shattered. Fists through drywall. Our perfect walls spiderwebbing. See? This. Blood dripped. Knuckles split. I bandaged him. Tears falling. You're more than his hate. Am I? Doubt poisoned. Maybe I'm just the straight painter playing house. No. Fierce. You're mine. But seed sown. Doubt sprouted. Saturday. He withdrew. Sketches abandoned. Laughs forced. Need to think, he said. Packing the duffel. Alone. Think about what? Leaving? Maybe. Knife twist. If I stay, I lose them. Go. Lose you. Ultimatum. No. Reality. Door closed soft. Final. Alone. I howled primal. Echoing empty rooms. Friends swarmed. Mia with ice cream. Jamal with weed-laced wisdom. Let him choose. You deserve all in. All in. Alex hadn't. Joshua might not. Sunday. I wandered the bridge he'd mentioned. East River churning below. Winds whipping regrets. Texted. Miss you. Door open. Read. No reply. Monday. Work numb. Chapbook stalled. Edits bleeding errors. Gallery emailed. Need Joshua's sign off. I forwarded. Silence deafening. Tuesday. Storm broke. He burst in. Rain-soaked. Eyes wild. I told them. Told. Called Dad. Said I'm gay. With you. Done hiding. Air whooshed from lungs. And. Screamed. Hung up. But. Free. Laugh bubbled. Manic. Flew to Ohio yesterday. Faced Sarah. Too told her everything. She's cool. Actually. Babies due in spring. Pride swelled. Pulling him close. Brave. You're brave. Kiss hungry. Rain mingling with tears. But high crashed Wednesday. Dad's response, not call, but courier. Box of Joshua's childhood relics. Sketches torn. Football trophies melted down? No. Worse. A letter. You're dead to me. Don't come back. Joshua read. Crumpling. Lost him. You gained you. I held him as sobs racked. Body shaking like fault lines. Grief's vigil. Nights curled fetal. Days sketching memorials. Murals of fractured families mending. Chapbook surged. His pain fueling art. Pages of bi-erasure. Rust belt rainbows. Thanksgiving loomed. City festive. Us hollow. Friends invited. But he demurred. Just us. Thanksgiving, takeout turkey, candles flickering. Toasts to survivors. To rules broken, he said, clinking. To revelations. Love rekindled slow, tender touches rebuilding trust. But betrayal's scar. His flinches at doorbells. My overvigilance. We're okay, I'd soothe. Yeah, but eyes distant sometimes. Ohio calling faint. December frosted windows. Holidays glittering cruel. Gallery opening neared. Our baby. Canvas of courage. Joshua threw in. Murals live painted. Queer poets reciting amid strokes. Prep frenzy bonded us. Late nights. Paint-smeared skin. Laughter reclaiming space. Love you, he whispered first. Brush paused midair. Love you, echoed true. But eve of opening. Bomb dropped. Sarah called, hysterical. He's back. Your dad. Showed up at the hospital. Threatened the baby if Joshua doesn't come home. Joshua paled. What? Said he'd fix you. Cops involved. But he's unhinged. Rage boiled. Stay here. Can't. Family. He grabbed keys. I'll handle. Handle how? By going back. To end it. Door slammed. Taillights vanishing into snow. Panic clawed. I called Mia. He's gone. Dad's psycho. Go after. Storm raged. Streets slick. I drove, heart hammering Brooklyn to Queensbridge, toward the motel he'd once fled to. No sign. Texts. Where? Ending this. Love you. Hours ticked. Dread mounting. Police scanner crackled on radio. Domestic. Ohio plates? No. Dawn broke gray. Knock, Joshua. Bruised lip. I steal. Cops got him. Restraining order. He's done. Relief crashed. You faced him. Told the truth again. Walked out. Collapse into arms. Chose us. Wept together. Storm breaking. Betrayal's final act. His father's. Not his. Joshua free. Scars badges now. January thawed the freeze. New Year's fireworks fading to quiet resolve. Joshua moved in proper, no duffel limbo, but closets shared. Toothbrush beside mine. The apartment, once a solo shrine, bloomed duo. His easel in the corner, our mugs mismatched on hooks. Rules? Relics? Laughed over with wine. The opening night glittered, loft aglow. Murals sprawling. Ohio fields cracked open to reveal city spires. Figures entwined in defiant embrace. Crowd swelled. Critics scribbling. Queer icons toasting. His sketches bound with my poems. Revelations in rust. Title etched in gold. Joshua. Midstroke on a live canvas. Caught my eye across the room. For you, he mouthed. Brush arcing a heart in red. Pride swelled. Tears pricking. Speech time. I took the mic. Voice steady. This book's a bridge. From hidden hurts to bold hearts. Joshua painted the pain. I worded the hope. Together, we saw each other. Applause thundered. He pulled me down. Kiss public. Unapologetic. Flashes popped. Tomorrow's headlines. Perhaps. But in that moment, just us. After party spilled to rooftops. City at our feet. Changed everything, he murmured. Arm around waist. You, kiss under stars. My straight painter, he chuckled. Never was. Spring unfurled green, cherry blossoms dusting Atlantic Avenue. His mural commissioned for a community center, queer youth center. Walls alive with stories like ours. Therapy twice weekly. His choice. Unpacking Ohio's ghosts. By identity fluid and fierce. Me? Promoted. Chapbook a sleeper hit. Readings drew crowds. One night, a kid approached. Your words helped me come out. Joshua beamed beside me. Told you. Voices matter. Sundays, we escaped. Drives to the Hudson. Picnics on bluffs where winds whispered freedoms. He sketched landscapes laced with us. My hand in his, horizons merging. But humanity's edge, not all happy. Dad's silence stretched. Avoid. One April call, collect. From county jail. Assault charges stuck. Rehab ordered. Joshua listened. Face stone. Forgive, I asked after. Not yet. Maybe never. Soft. But I forgive me. Human, flawed. Growing. Sarah's baby arrived. Boy. Named after her gran. Photos shared. Aunt-uncle vibes budding. Family redefines, he said, tracing the image. Summer scorched. Our first anniversary marked simple. Rooftop, same as the prompt sunset. Wings, beer, his head on my shoulder. Rules? He teased. Only one. Love hard. Fall circled back. Leaves crimson as fresh paint. Gallery show 2. Beyond labels. His solo with my curation. Sold out. Critics raving. A Rust Belt Romeo. Painting queer anthems. After. Alone in the glow. He knelt for real this time. Ring simple silver band etched with a brushstroke. Marry me. Dan. No halves. All in. Tears blurred. Yes. Wedding small. Brooklyn courthouse. Friends witnessing under autumn arches. Vows raw. You saw me scars. Sketches. Secrets. I see you forever. Honeymoon. Road trip. Ohio detour first. He faced the mill town. Childhood home boarded. Fields fallow. Left flowers at mom's grave. Whispered closures. Goodbye to ghosts. Then west Grand Canyon rims. Stars blanketing deserts. Lovemaking under infinities. Bodies one with earth. Back home. Life layered. His adjunct gig teaching art at a community college. Kids like young him sketching rebellions. My novel deal. Queer epic inspired by us. Nights. Tangled. Futures whispered. One evening. Rooftop again our spot. City hummed below. East River winking. Remember the rules? I asked. Wine glass tilting. He laughed. Pulling close. Broke em best. Kiss deepened. World fading. What he revealed. Not just labels shed. But a man flawed. Fierce. Mine. Changed everything. How I saw him. Love. Myself. In that golden hour. Arms entwined. I knew. Humanity's in the mess. The hooks. Heartbreaks. Revelations. And ours? A masterpiece. Stroke by stroke. Epilogue whispers years on. Gray threading temples. His murals city legends. My books shelved worldwide. Kids. Adopted twins. Queerlings themselves. Sketching dreams. Dad? A card once, proud. Late. Forgiveness slow. But human. We stand rooftops still. Gazes locked. Love you, he says. Eternal. always.